Okay, for the last 2 weeks, we've been talking about multiplication of whole numbers. Today, we're going to be switching into multiplication of decimals, but we're not moving to the algorithm just yet. We want to show this in the form of pictorial models, or in other words, in the form of a picture. The problem that we're going to look at first is looking at 2 times 5/10. Now, notice my grid is a hundredths grid. So I need to think of this 5/10 in terms of hundredths. So by adding a 0 behind it, I don't change that place value of the 5, and instead I make an equivalent decimal of 50 hundredths. So what I'm really looking at, we've learned that multiplication is really just repeated addition. So I'm looking at making 2 sets of 50 hundredths and trying to figure out what that equals. So in a picture, it's just coloring in. So for my 50, I would color in the 50, one set of 50. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so that I can see 50. So there's one set of 50 hundredths. I'm wanting 2 sets. And when you're counting, you're not counting 1 to 50 and then skipping back to 1 and starting a new grid and putting those together. You're starting in your numbers where you left off. It's just repeat addition. So that next 50 starts at 51 hundredths. And I want to add 50 more hundredths to the 50 that I already have. So I start exactly where I left off, shading in the next 50. And when I do that, I can see that 2 sets of 50 is equal to 1 whole. Now, moving on, we're going to look at another example, because what you're going to see in a testing environment is an actual model where you have to be able to tell me the algorithm, the complete equation with an answer. So how do you do that? So